Well, a very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Radlett. Tier 2 match between Middlesex women and Kent. News of the toss, which those umpires are out there overseeing a little while ago, is that Middlesex women have won the toss. They've elected to bat first. Apologies, Kent have won and elected to bowl. I'm looking at last week's scorecard in front of me as I'm reading it. The game against Glamorgan, which Middlesex picked up a very, very good win last week at Merchant Taylor's School. It's a switch to Radlett this week after that 4-wicket win against Glamorgan last week. Glamorgan all out for 77. Middlesex was 79 for 6 with 1 ball to spare of an absolute thriller last Sunday. Let's hope for something similar today as Kent pitch up here at Radlett. So the opening pair are out. There's a multitude of changes from Middlesex to tell you of, starting with the home side. I'll give you those teams. Izzy Routledge, Artemis Downer, Finty Trussler, Saskia Hawley, the skipper, Pippa Sproul, Sonali Patel, Lauren Turner, Chana Kamapati, Gaia Gole, Georgia Irving and Katie Wolf. As for Kent, Megan Belt, the skipper, Coco Streets, Amy Gordon, Tilly Callahan, Isabel Kirby, Alice Grant, Megan Sturge, Elsa Barnfather, Izzy James, Sydney Gorham and Laura Bailey. Our umpires for this one, Sharon Grigg and Hemel Uji Soraya, who is in the background there, just walking over towards square leg. I'm Kevin Hand, delighted to say Sonia Twigg is alongside me for today's match, and Middlesex on a bit of a roll and looking to extend it here at Radlett today.
Yes, Middlesex have won both their games in this competition so far, and you couldn't ask for a better start, and I think we've been lucky with the weather today as well. It's grey and a little bit windy, but so far the rain has stayed away, and let's hope that continues throughout this afternoon.
So Gordon, it's going to be from Salters field end to get us going. Check the field, check the umpires. The field is a backward point, cover, extra cover, and mid-off. Long on's back, so too deep mid-wicket, and square leg and short fine legs. The 2 back, long on and deep mid-wicket. I think I mentioned the short straight mid-wicket in there as well. Not particularly short, but relatively straight. Where Gordon is warming up to now. Umpire's just checking the time. It's not, we're too early. When's cricket ever been this early?
Yes, the umpires are just holding it, waiting for it to tick over to the exact time that this game's supposed to start. It's always nice when you get these weird quirks in cricket, isn't it, where they just have to wait for something to happen.
There's the first ball, push back. It'll skip down the track from Downer. Nice bit of flight from Gordon.
Interesting decision to keep her sunglasses on her head while she bowls.
Straight 2 back, good point, no run. Yeah, it did fall off first ball, didn't it?
It did, and it might. She did reach up after the second ball as well, so it'll be interesting to see how that affects her going forward. But a good start.
So nice use of the feet. Just sliced it wide enough of mid-off for the single. Middlesex off the mark. Ooh, sharp throw back in. There go those glasses again. I don't think they're going to last much longer.
I mean, the umpire's right there. I'm sure she could take them if she wanted to.
Oh, nice bit of drift. Dolly back. Comfortable caught and bowled. Nearly threw the ball back at the umpire as well. But Radlett has to go. Wasn't to the pitch of it. And comfortable catch in practice. Just pushed back to the bowler. Gordon strikes with her 4th ball, and Middlesex 1 for 1.
Yeah, she just didn't quite get her feet organised there, did Izzy Routledge. Just ended up sort of being slightly stuck on the crease and just pushing the ball straight back to the bowler. It was a good catch. Slightly comical moment afterwards where she drops it onto the stumps, but that was just pushed back, and she didn't kind of go forward or back and just leaned into it and played it too far in front of her as well, I think.
So Guy Gole comes out at 3 elevation for Middlesex all-rounder.
It's an interesting decision to move her up the order, but it's one of the sort of, who did make 5 changes as you mentioned from the last one, so it's always got to be a little bit of a shift around as well when that happens.
Gole, a former Sunriser, not managing to make the cut for those that moved across to Essex, but rebuilding in Tier 2. Oh, dog walking time in the background as well. That's the train track over the far side. Trains be rattling through and from London. Yeah, always busy ground, Radlett. There's an airfield nearby, a light airfield. It does appear as though some of the heavier ones go overhead as well. These helicopters zipping through as well. It always feels like you're right in some sprawling metropolis. Nicely punched, well fielded at cover. It's a good stop, just a single take, and as the ball bobbles away, but off the bat, Gole may have fancied that could have been more than just a single. 2 for 1 then at the end of the first over, and good caught and bowled for Gordon to get her side on the board.
Yes, Gole definitely hit that nice enough for it to go through, but just unfortunately picked out the fielder there, who made a good sort of parry as it trickled behind her. And I think Middlesex just need to settle into this a little bit and try and, because the runs will come. It's quite a big ground here as well, so they will be able to find those gaps and just settle in to this afternoon, and the wind will play an effect as well, I'm sure.
Slight delay at the moment.
There's a slight delay while the bowler of the first over, Gordon, is just being looked at by the medical staff. I wonder if that must have happened when she took the catch, you'd think, because there wasn't really anything else of note that would suggest it. And she's just having her finger looked at. She seems to be in some pain there.
Let's have a look, see if we can detect anything here. There's a right hand that's being looked at, isn't it? Which is where she had to dip down. And, nothing too noticeable there.
I wonder if it was in the landing and she landed awkwardly on her right hand, because she holds it in the ball in her left hand and goes, and it's the right hand that hits the ground first. I mean, she could have just slightly split the skin or something. I'm sure it's quite a hard outfield out there given the lack of rain that we've had over the last few months.
Yeah, I was actually looking to see if she'd palmed it, if it was the palm that it had struck. I didn't realise it was the tip of the finger that the physio was looking at, so I was looking for the wrong thing on the replay, but there we go, fingertip.
Either way, we've got a slight delay here as the plaster is being applied, I think, and Gordon's running off, looks pretty happy to continue going there, so we will get back underway in just a second.
Here we go then, pavilion end for Grant. It's pulled nice, he hasn't quite got all of it. Mid-wicket manages to make the stop, just the single taken. Alice Grant opening up from where our commentary position is at the pavilion end.
Tell you what, it was a horrible throw back into the wicketkeeper. He had to do a really awkward dive, and I think if the batters had been slightly more on it, they might have been able to sneak through for another single. It's something to look at.
A bit of shape on that. opposition. Downer certainly seems to come back in slightly. Let's just have a look from over the bowler's shoulder. Just off the surface, seams in slightly. And again, good adaptation there from Gole. It's a chase, it's a mound here at Radlett. The square sits right at the top of the playing area, and as soon as you're off the square, it's all downhill. So a good chase given by the Kent trio. But a trio of runs for Gole.
Yeah, nice shot, and the first time we've seen her really pierce the gap as well. So it will be something that she will look to do throughout this innings.
Bit of width, tempter for Downer.
It's just one of those, I think, that is a bit wide and quite full, and so you're sort of drawn into a shot that you don't really want to be playing, and the footwork wasn't quite there for her to do it.
Length ball, that one wasn't particularly there for the drive. It was the width that interested Downer though, but the length of that one making it tough to square drive.
Yes, Middlesex just need to watch these dot balls and make sure that they don't start to build up too much. Goal is done well, but Downer on 2 off 6 will want to score soon.
There you go, there's the width that she was looking for. Gets the ball away. It'll only be a single with the sweeper back, but it's always a bouncy surface here at Radlett. Generally one that favours the seamers. That is the end of the over. Grant thought she had one more, but good over for Middlesex. Gets them ticking. 8 for 1 after 2.
Well, the good thing about it being bouncier as a batter is you sort of start thinking that you can go for a little bit more, because the LBW sort of isn't as problematic as it might be if it's keeping quite low, so you can actually sort of open up square slightly easier sometimes if it is getting up around that sort of thigh waist height.
Use of the feet, but even for the spinner, ouch, mind that finger. Yeah, even for the spinner, you'll find that little bit of bounce, and finger spinners in particular here. Hope they'll get some lift off the surface. Oh, that's a beaut, floated up there. Now, that back foot, it wobbled in the crease, whether it ever left the crease, certainly up for a moment.
She did leave the crease, but I think she just stuck her foot back in time there. She's got to watch that with the wicketkeeper standing up.
Backing away, cut late, cut fine. Backward point giving chase, I'll get a couple.
I think that was a really good decision making there. She saw that there was a gap behind square on that side and just opened the face and guided it through the gap, and I think that's what Middlesex will be looking to do as this innings continues.
A little hint of turn in. Dragging it for the single. Field well placed, down to long on. Oh, another one that bounces up. Gordon's in the wars.
She won't want to take another hit to that finger either.
That's a better use of the feet from Downer, just gently easing it back. Oh, wow. That is some catch. Well, I have to admit, I was looking for the boundary. Downer with a little shuffle, open in the face. A little lob in the end, though. Middlesex's second opener has to depart.
Yeah, she did so well to come down the pitch. It looked like she'd play that absolutely perfectly, and it was just a really good low catch from a Kent player there at cover. Just got down in time and managed to get both hands around the ball to take the catch, and that leaves Middlesex in a little bit of trouble. Nothing that they can't recover from, but just a little bit of trouble as we are in the third, at the end of the third over.
So, number 4, Finty Trussler. Up and down at 3 on the card. Job to do here, though, in the power play. 2 down after 3 overs. Really good start from Kent.
I have watched Kent play already this year, and I think their openers are particularly strong, and then I think their bowling slightly tails off after that, or at least in the game that I watched, but this might be a very different side as well. I'm sure they've got quite a big squad. Don't recognise a few of them that I watched earlier on.
Oh, drag to mid-on. Goalie going hard at it, just dropping a fraction short there, Grant, which allowed goalie the time to rock back. Width again, and that one brings the first boundary. That's really well placed. Sky Gole carves it away through the covers.
Yeah, she's hit that really nicely. It's come straight out the middle of the bat, almost one of those textbook drives that you practice. Just perfectly pierced the field. 2 fielders diving around the ball but couldn't quite stop it from reaching the boundary rope.
Oh wow, now that's going to be worth a look at. I think Golo would love to see the replay of this one. What's that done out of the hand? Whether it was bowled out of the back of the hand, was it? No, I think it's just seam movement. I mean, oh, a little bit of late swing. Little bit of late swing on that one. It was heading towards, and then just there before pitching it swings. Taking it away. If that had gone off the surface like that, then goodness me, you'd be asking what a good score would be. And there's the width. Just allowing the single, but that late swing will be a mighty interest to all the bowlers.
What I did love in that was the huge appeal from the fielder on the boundary at fine leg, and no one else in the ring was convinced. But yeah, nice bit of late movement there, and that will be one that Golo will just want to keep an eye on and make sure that that doesn't get the better of her.
There's the lift that we talk about at Radlett. Beating the cut of Trussler. Just have to get the timing of it out there. We'll be well accustomed to this ground, Middlesex women. Interesting decision now for Kent will be to whether to go seam up from Salter's field end as well. Just in that bounce, we've seen a little bit of seam movement. We've now seen the late swing. Took out of the block hole. Dot ball to end the over. 5 off it, just that boundary with a little bit of width offered up by Grant. But Gordon's bowled well, 2 from 6. But these new balls, as we know, white balls, they give you a little bit at the top and then the assistance for the bowler quickly fades. So a decision to make. 17 for 2 after 4.
Yes, it's one of the reasons I thought it was interesting that Kent decided to go for a spinner up top. As we know with these balls, as you mentioned, that you do get a lot of movement for the seamers at the start, so it's not often that you see opening, well, you see it quite often, but it's rare here, I think, to see opening with a spinner, and an interesting decision. And we will see a bowling change. They're just tinkering with the field.
Yep, first change, and it's going to be Izzy James to mark out her run-up. Still long on and now long off back. Mid-wicket is up. 2 at mid-wicket really, 1 around towards square leg. In fact, there's nearly 3 in that mid-wicket region. Oh, a little bit of drift in there. Drifts into the slot, down the hill. It's going to be a tough chase, that. Once it's off the square, it's usually away here with reasonable contact at Radlett.
An improvised shot there just to sort of hook it down the hill, which I think helped the ball on its course, but yeah, I'm not sure she knew quite what to make of the action.
Anel nearly goes back. She's got a fair bit of loop here, a fair bit of drift on that first ball, certainly. That one drifting and dropping him.
Yeah, a little bit of drift from this bowler, not quite the spin that we saw from Gordon that took the 2 wickets.
Just perhaps a little bit too much flight on that. Starting straight as well. That first ball really did seem to drift in though.
I wonder if it was caught by the wind. I think our tent was.
We are sat atop Cobden Hill, so I guess the wind sweeping through is certainly something that can affect it. Yeah, it can be. It can either be baking hot here on top of the hill, or as you say, a windy affair. Just a single.
Yeah, just pushed up as Middlesex looked to keep rotating the strike and trying to get runs on the board as much as possible in the early stages of this T20 match.
Push back and gone. Gole's gone for 18, her 14th ball. Starting to close the face, and it wasn't quite to the pitch. A little shuffle, and again a little chip back to the bowler.
Yes, Gole falling into the same trap that some of her teammates did, or her teammate did at the start of the innings as well, just not quite really getting over the ball and just pushing it straight back to the bowler, who on that occasion took a very straightforward catch, and that leaves Middlesex in a little bit of trouble at 23 for 3.
More from Sonia Twigg in a little while. That's about number 5 for Middlesex now is Saskia Hawley. Job for the skipper to do. So yeah, job for the skipper to do, Hawley. Trussler, 1 from 5. (23 for 3). So belt into the attack. Skipper to skipper out there it will be at some point in this over. Megan Belt winning the toss, she'll be pretty happy with the start so far. Signing around the wicket, there's that little bit of bounce, that little bite that you get at Radlett. Again, 23 for 3, I'll just take you through the fields. For the last over of the power play, there's a deep mid-wicket. Long on the 2-back with Belt around the wicket. First ball for Hawley. Swept hard. Gets through the fielder at square leg. Think about 2, but it's just the single. Oh, now that's up in the air. It's going to be a chance. Is it just out of reach? Square leg coming over and around, swirling ball over the heads. James it was backing up. Top ball to end the over. 6 done. 27 for 3. Delighted to say Anisha Dissanayake is alongside me on the mic. Middlesex women, it's been a tough start so far, but one to build on for the skipper and this partnership out there at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I think Sass and Pinty have batted well together over the last couple of games, so it'd be good to see them build a partnership here and see where they can end us with a good total.
Radlett's a very familiar ground for Middlesex as well, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Sass played a bit of cricket here with Sunrisers, but we've had some good success here, and hopefully we can replicate it here today against Kent, who we played here a couple of times against them in the County Cup and also in our 50 over campaign. So hopefully we can get one up on them in the blast stuff.
James to continue from Salters Field ends. Long on his back, so too deep cover. Oh, now drift and turn on that. Sonia Twigger rightly mentioned just before going, the wind nearly takes off this 10 at the same time as well. The wings will play a little bit of a part for the drift here, but look at that go at the last. And again, this is tough for the batters, but that's a sweet, sweet pick-up. The skipper has a boundary.
Yeah, wonderful shot, I think. Good to put James under a bit of pressure here and try and force her to do something different, because I think she's bowled some pretty good line and length so far.
Swept away. Ball's retrieved at last. It is one of those grounds where the ball can get lost quite easily here at Radlett. Oh, use of the feet. It's on the pads going down leg. We did see big turn on that ball earlier, but hitting on the pad, on the full, that one. What was the chat before the toss? Do you know what would have been Middlesex's preference?
Yeah, I think we wanted to have a bat first anyway, to be honest. Put their bowlers under a bit of pressure, and we definitely back our bowlers to kind of defend our total. So.
Bit of bounce. Once more for James. Again, that for me always at Radlett is the noticeable. Or the first thing you look for, whether it is the usual bouncy surface that we're accustomed to at Radlett over the years. The oddity is if it doesn't bounce. Bit of flight. Turned into a full toss from Trussler. And single to end the over. James going for 12 off her 2. 6 off that one. 33 for 3 after 7. It was a cracking game last Sunday, wasn't it, at Merchant Taylor's School. 1 ball to spare, Middlesex wrapping up that one against Glamorgan. Tight finish. Glamorgan just got themselves in a little bit of trouble setting that target. They just needed to get partnerships going, and that's what Middlesex need to do today. That's got through. Swept up on the ropes. And coming around. clear the mid-wicket and the cover. Pace off on that one again. There was bounce in it. Trussler was in position early. Guides it well, gets a couple. She's got an interesting delivery belt, hasn't she? It's just the little skip at the very end that almost makes me think that she's going to... I don't know, is it a slight delay on when she bowls of that leg coming over? It almost makes me feel like she's going to trip.
Yeah, I was about to say the same. I think it looks like she's about to trip over, but actually she's quite deceiving. I remember playing her last year and facing her. She's a little bit slower, but actually gets a little bit of spin. And
it's just a little pause before bowling. Almost feels like she's just lost her balance.
Tends to hit a very consistent line and length, actually, so if the batters can put her off that, we stand a chance of going big in this over.
Dropping short again, sweeper's back, it's just a single. Nice connection from Hawley on that. It was sweet off the bat, they'll think two. Running the misfield. Back they come, are they? And Kent thought for a moment. He might have been in business, nothing doing. Too much flight on that. Good use of the feet from Hawley. It'll just be a single. I think they're playing it nicely at the moment. They're just rebuilding, as we said. A partnership really is key here.
Yeah, exactly. If we can keep this partnership going, we can wait for the last kind of 6-7 overs and really go attacking from there. But really key to build that partnership again.
Now this is straight to the fielder. Wow. Well, that was one of the sweetest connections of the day so far. Trussler manages to pick out square leg though, and Middlesex lose their fourth. Can't believe it, the skipper. Not the skipper, sorry, Trussler.
It's actually a really good grab in the end. It came pretty quickly to her and was in a great position to take it, so Finty will be disappointed. I think she'll have been positive building that partnership with Sass, so it's a shame for us.
Yeah, connected sweetly with that one. I was looking for the boundary. I couldn't believe that it was straight to the fielder and well held. Really good catch. Pippa Sproul joining Saskia Hawley in the middle. Hawley with an unbeaten 21 from 28 balls last week. Sproul 14 from 22. That last week was a partnership of 32 coming together in the 11th through until the 18th over. Going to need something similar here again today just to get that foundation, which will be the disappointment. Trussler had just sort of thought that the partnership was just starting to get its foundation going there. James floating it up there again. Just a single, long on coming around. Just a single. Extra cover was in the game for a moment. Sproul was just waiting to see. As we saw last week in the game at Merchant Taylor School, 78. That score. Just a single again. Yeah, it was 78 the target. Middlesex finished 79 for 6 with a ball to spare. It's a really tight finish, but that's the point here for Middlesex, isn't it? Get the runs on the board. Make sure they're in the game with the ball.
Can't go across there.
Sweeper well positioned out there, just a single again. Small playing area here at Radlett, so two's not easy. It turned once more, just steered. I think this is the right move at the moment though for Middlesex, just work the singles, get the partnership going again. 9 bowls, 46 for 4.
Yeah, I think we've talked a lot about hard running and what we call sailing our ship, so you know, strike rotation constantly, making sure that we've got that intent and building those partnerships, and that's exactly what Sass and Pippa need to do here today. We saw a glimpse of it with Finty, and it's unfortunate the way she got out, but if we can kind of keep building those partnerships and then we go harder at the back end, we stand a really good chance of building a really good total here.
Skipper's knock needed. Long on, deep mid wicket. Long off and deep cover back. Oh, that's a beaut. Real tempter for him, Belt. Oh, tumble. Smiles in the end. It would have only been a single. No harm done. So it comes in. Just off target slightly. It's well run. That's what Middlesex have to do at the moment, is focus on the singles really, isn't it? Just make sure that that bit is ticking over. Let the boundaries come later. Key is not to let the dot balls stack up.
Yeah, exactly. Keeping that strike rotation going. Pippa will probably rely on a bit of experience from Sass here as well, and kind of build that partnership together.
Oh, now that nearly dipped into the block hole. The sweep will bring a single here. They're thinking 2. 10 done, 50 up for Middlesex, 50 for 4. Anisha, before you go a partnership, they'll think about more than doubling this in the back 10, but it's crucial that it is a partnership.
Exactly. Let's keep this going. Hopefully we see that scoreboard continuing to tick on and then get a good total in the end. But thank you so much for having me on here.
Thanks for having you. Thanks for coming on, Anisha. Be back with us later, maybe?
Yes,
I'm not sure. You will. Awesome.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to it, Anisha. Be replaced the mic alongside myself, Kevin Hand, with Sonia Twig. 50 for 4. perfect rate at the moment for a commentator, not having to think. James on for 17 from 3. Sonia Twiggs back alongside me, and it really is crucial that they get a partnership going now.
It really is, and I think they've got to look at this in sort of really over by over and going, let's start building from this over, keep rotating the strike, and then stay in for 2 to 3 overs, and then really look to attack in the back end. I don't think you can sort of look at it as halfway through. I think they've really got to think they need to add another sort of 80 odd.
Oh, that was dragged down. Didn't quite come out properly. First ball for Bailey.
It was dragged well down, and it's I think if she'd just waited a little bit, she might have been able to capitalise more on that. Sort of reacting to what it was rather than should have been.
Wide one from Laura Bailey. Drags that one again, but drags it to one side.
It's quite difficult for the batters if the bowling's this unpredictable to know what's going to happen and anticipate what they should be doing.
Fielder just the single.
I think one of the keys for this pair is going to have to be not to get frustrated, which Kent have taken all the pace off here.
Width again, just a single.
I think that's what I was referring to, just taking the pace off, and then you pierce the gap and go straight to a fielder, and you just got to keep rotating the strike and thinking that you will be able to capitalise rather than going chasing after it, as we've seen. That's what's brought the wickets so far in this game.
And that was sitting up for a while. Single taken. To run a ball and the wide so far. Now, that's up in the air, but it's wide of mid-on, and it's over the top of mid-wicket. Lovely shot. Sproul moves to 10.
I feel very rewarded because I was speaking to Fletch off air and I said that's the gap they should be targeting. They've got to open up. There's a huge gap there through mid-wicket, and if you beat the one fielder who's in the ring, you're going to be, especially down the hill, you're going to be rewarded for it, and you just need to open up a little bit, even if you're not playing textbook shots, and just try and access that area of the ground because the offside is pretty packed and we've seen a lot of runs cut off there.
You want to wave back?
Hands.
Last ball of the over, an expensive one for Bailey to begin. Dot balls to finish. Oh, misfields. That will frustrate. Dot ball getting out of the over would have been something for Bailey to take out of it, and Kent as well. 11 done, 60 for 4.
Yes, that's the sort of misfield that just happens when you switch off for a split second. It sort of seemed to go straight through her, but Middlesex won't mind seeing that creep into Kent's game, and if they can keep the pressure on the field, knowing that those gaps are starting to emerge, you can see sides unravel quite quickly sometimes in T20 cricket. As we just watch a dog and a pram walk across the front of our commentary tent.
Go on, has it dog knowledge? What dog's that?
I want to say it's a sort of cockapoo or toy poodle. It's a bit bigger than a toy poodle. And I only know that because one of my friends has a toy poodle.
Oh, yes, no. Throw to the non-striker's end, could be trouble. Hawley's back. I think there was a run there, to be fair.
No, I think she just got dragged into that probably out of sense of frustration and the state of the game that we're in, rather than conviction.
Oh, now. That's a put down, is it? Little fine tickle through to the keeper. I think that's popped back out of the gloves. Finest of tickles. Certainly that was Belt's reaction anyway, that there was some bat involved.
It was her reaction. I mean, we don't have a stump mic, so we can't hear whether there was. But either way, it's sort of, she's tried to take that awkwardly by her shoulder.
Far from off stump. The whip, interesting Sproul. That was square of that mid-wicket region that you were talking about, but Sproul clearly with the intention, and also the dot balls builds that pressure. Set up, but just the single. The deep mid-wicket positioned well.
I think she either needs to take it early and try and access the sort of straight mid-wicket, wide mid-on area, or really wait and try and tuck it slightly through square leg. I think the area she's trying to access is just a fielder on the boundary.
That's a bit of flight, a simple shuffle. The single turn the over, just a couple off that from Bell. 1 for 18 from 4. Should be pretty happy with that. 62 for 4 Middlesex after 12. I think that run out chance there as well. Had the partnership been going well, had not been 4 down in the column, then maybe there was a single there, because she got a long way down and got back still. But at this stage of the game, the last thing they need is a run out.
I think it's, as you said, it's just the point where you can't really take risks when you're 4 down at this stage, and you do need to build a partnership, but you do need to keep putting the pressure back on the bowlers. I think in the last over they were trying to sort of backed into a corner where they felt they had to go for these big shots, rather than just thinking, actually, if we get a single each ball, that's 6 runs, and then you might get a bad ball that you can put away. And I think they've just got to switch into that mindset slightly to try and put more runs on the board.
There's that little bit of drift again. Single taken, but there's plenty out there for the bowlers. That's what Middlesex must stick to here. As we saw last week, 78.
I also think they should be looking for 2 rather than just jogging through for 1. Some of these throws aren't particularly accurate, and if they're on it, they could get a couple more.
Swept hard. Sweeper is there, and again it's just the single. That one perhaps slightly more understandable, not back for the second. Now, 1 bounce. Very nearly chipped straight to long on, but just checking the shot maybe.
I don't know, she was shaking her head as she ran down there. I'm not sure that's entirely where she meant to get it.
Just putting a little bit more gusto in these shots now, aren't they, Sproul and Hawley?
I think it's what they need to do. They also need to start thinking slightly harder about where the gaps in this field are and trying to access those, even if it means not necessarily hitting the ball as hard.
That's a beautiful pick up. Hawley picks up the boundary, just wide, a long on over the mid-wicket. That's a lovely use of the feet.
Great use of the feet, just slightly too full there, and she's just shuffled down and tucked that over mid-wicket for a boundary, guided by the slope as well. A couple of bounces before crossing the rope.
Just the singles, the sweeper at cover to end the over. Hawley on to 24 from 21. Crucial innings. Sproul 14 from 17. Middlesex after 13 haven't been put in here. They're 71 for 4.
And we're just going to have a bit of a break, I think, as they've called for a drink. So we'll just take a bit of a pause there.
Let's have a look at the card so far then. Radlett caught and bowled James. It was a bit of a dolly pushback, wasn't it? For a golden duck downer. Four for downer. Goldy again was a caught and bowled, wasn't it? 18 from 4. And then Trust will feel pretty hard done by with what was a pretty good connection to James at square for a shorter ball from Belt. Eyes lit up and struck it pretty sweetly. Pretty unlucky that was very well held. Gordon at the top, what a start that was, 2 for 6, and that's made the difference to this innings at the moment. Middlesex playing catch up, and when you're playing catch up, you just got to be careful that you don't get yourself into too much of a heap if things go wrong. But they're making a good fist of it at the moment. 71 for 4.
Well, Middlesex managed to. We've seen quite low totals in the women's games. Still be quite difficult scores to chase, and I think if Middlesex will see it's not particularly easy to bat out there, and if they can cause Kent problems, it's game on.
Oh, it's a beaut from Kirby. Well, I did wonder early on, did they need to get a little bit more seam into the attack a little bit earlier here? Look at that. Unplayable. A Jaffa.
I think the pace took her slightly by surprise. She was almost through the shot before it got to her, which is not where you want to be as a batter.
A bit wider, just a dot ball. It's chipped for a single. Oh, stump's broken, but ball doesn't deflect too far away.
That was a great throw in from the deep, just under no pressure there.
That is some shot. Sproul with the boundary, swept away. Nearly wrong foots. Spectator. We've seen some good pace and bounce. It's just a brave shot in that sense. Swept away off the pads. Edged away, that'll be 4. Hard chase given there, but down the hill again, down the slope. That is the mound here. That Radlett and another boundary.
Well, I think what we're seeing is one of the things that can happen when you put pace on the ball is it comes off the bat a bit quicker, and Middlesex seem to have enjoyed this change of pace from Kent and been manipulating the field more easily than we saw them trying to sort of almost force the spinners. They sort of relaxed a bit into the seamers.
Goes again. 3 in a row. 12 big runs all of a sudden. That makes a huge change to what would have been a relatively low score so far. I think you're right about pace coming on at this stage. 2 batters just getting themselves set. They'll be happier with pace on. I do wonder, would it have been better for Kent to go for the seam option earlier?
I think early on there is more on offer for seam. I think if you're coming on as a seam bowler now, suddenly you're going, well, the ball's not going to give me a lot. I'm bowling at 2 in batters. They might like the extra pace that I'm putting on, and that's what we've seen so far. But from a Middlesex perspective, I mean, they'll be hoping that it's just disrupted Kent's plans slightly, and they've got to make a few changes, and that they can build on what was quite an expensive over and put a couple more of those and get them up to the 3 figures sooner rather than later.
Middlesex men need 157 to win in their match today. They're away at Essex. They're being played at Chelmsford in the Blasts.
Opening spinner coming back on.
Yeah, this could be a real tipping point, couldn't it? 2 for 6 from her 2. Gordon gave it a great start, and it set the tone for the majority of this innings, but to this partnership. Running it hard, back they come. Cries keepers. There we go.
It's interesting that they have brought her back on. I think with a harder ball you'll get a little bit more bounce than you perhaps will at this stage in the game.
Now, up in the air, into the gap. Mid-wicket and long on. Split. Hawley ticks on. Another big pickup.
Yeah, another time we've seen that vacant mid-wicket region accessed. It's been probably Middlesex's highest scoring zone of the match so far, making the benefit of the slope as well. It was a great shot, just perfectly timed, moved the feet and hit really hard over the ring and down towards the boundary rope.
And that'll be the 50 partnership. Be another boundary as well as it beats the cover fielder. Hawley moves to 35 from 28. 94 for 4 and a 50 partnership off just 40 balls. It's innings changing.
Yes, and I think what we're seeing now is when the fielders are under pressure, mistakes just start to creep in. That one obviously went past the fielder, who potentially could have done a little bit better there, and when the boundaries start racking up, it just becomes so hard to feel like you're chasing the game sometimes.
Oh, I was just going to say it can bobble here. They're going to get back for the second. Radlett can be notorious for fielders. There's a little look out to the rope as they're from Gordon. But it can be difficult at Radlett.
Played once here in club cricket and spent my entire time down on that boundary rope in front of the willow tree there.
Plenty of bruises.
It's just a really hot day.
Knows the call. 96 for 4 into the 15th. Sonia, thanks for now. Sonia Twig will be back with us. Myself, Kevin Hand on the live stream here. It's 96 for 4. So 96 for 4. Delighted to say Riva Pindoria has joined me for the next couple of overs, and Riva, this is some partnership between Sproul and Hawley at the moment.
Yeah, it's been really good. Obviously at the beginning didn't have the strongest start, but now they've caught up and I think set up a really good total.
Tough place sometimes, Radlett, to get going, but once you do, it is a ground that you can feel in as a batter, which clearly at the moment these two do.
Yeah, I think obviously with a big boundary it's hard, but I think the girls have been running really well, hitting the pockets, so just keep that going.
And a good run so far. We've got a delay in the middle, so I'm going to take you back a week ago Thursday. Lords, not a bad day out for Middlesex women.
Yeah, couldn't ask for anything better. Really good to do it on the big stage, so yeah.
A couple of outground games to follow. Merchant Taylor School last Sunday and now here at Radlett. Here's Bailey. Tough first over. Fraction short, but just rushed Sproul a little, that one. Yes, no. No, it's the decision in the end. I think they shook on it, didn't they? Oh, dragged down and wide. They'll run the single on that one. Just had a bit of a problem with their release in the first over, Bailey, to begin with. It's a big wind here as well at Radlett today. Have you got a great deal of experience at Radlett? No. Have you got a great deal of experience at Radlett? I know a lot of the women have played here regularly. Straight to the fielder and a dot ball. Yeah, it's a big home of Middlesex Cricket now, isn't it, Radlett?
Yeah, it is. We like to call this like the fortress here at Middlesex, and I think this and MTs is really, really good. And I think having like the quality of pitches recently has just been really good.
Just 2 off the over, that wide. A much better over from Bailey. Of course, they did run one on the wide as well, so 3 off it. That is a beaut. And a boundary to finish. Oh, wakey wakey, not watching on the side there. 100 up as well. 103 on the boards. Swept fine, swept well. Started a little too wide. When these two came together, 100 probably would have been a target for the innings. Now they'll be thinking about an awful lot more. As long as these two are together, then really anything's possible here.
Yeah, I think they've built a really good partnership. Obviously losing a few wickets in the power play is not always easy, but they've made a good comeback from this.
What were the feelings last week at Glamorgan? We mentioned, or at Merchant Taylor's School, we mentioned the game at Lords and what a day that was, but it was such a nervy chase in the end.
Yeah, I think did a really good job with the bowling. Recently batting hasn't been our strongest, but I think Sass at the end just kept it really calm and simple, and just saw us through, which is really good.
He checks the fields, a long off back, deep cover. Oh, it's a sweet pick up. Square legs up, so 4 more. Found it. It didn't go onto the railway track. This is a big moment in the game now, hasn't it? Kirby going for 13 off the first over. Oh, that's a nice shot. Keeper's going to have to give chase herself for this one. You can see the confidence is flowing now.
Yeah, I think made a really good comeback. Hoping to push. Ooh, I reckon we've got above 130 in the bag, I reckon.
Yeah, 6.6 current rate. Nice connection, the sweeper's back. So it's just a single. They'll be disappointed not to go at least to run a ball from here, I'd reckon. But it does depend on this partnership going. We know what a wicket can do.
Yeah, I think they've built solid partnership, and I think we've got some batters in the end who can come finish the game.
Oh, now that wobbled out of the hand, but goodness me, Sproul was onto it quickly. It looks like it swung late, that one.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Pippa just picks up on any length, really.
Oh. Oh no. Where's it gone? Through the fence? Oh, this is genius. Oh, well done. I did not think they were going to... When she picked up that twig, I did not think she was going to get it back that quickly. Worst of the outgrounds, Radlett, for retrieving the ball?
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, with these big boundaries, not the best.
Fence at the Salters Field end from behind that sight screen where Kirby's bowling. Thinking two, but just a single. But yeah, the amount of balls that have been lost in that hedge at Salters Field end behind the sight screen over the years is extraordinary.
You wish.
It's dragged. Slide on the ropes. It's a really good piece of fielding. They've taken a couple. Kirby's gone for 27 off her 2 overs now. I think it's been a tough time for the seamen to come on because the bats have enjoyed pace on. 17 done, 117 for 4. Middlesex certainly looking good for that 130, as he said. That seems to be in the bag.
Yeah, I think I'm going to change it to 140 now.
You going 140's in the bag,
yeah.
or 140's the target?
I think 140.
It's been quite the innings changing performance, this, from this partnership. 76 from 54. Hawley eyeing a 50 as well. Couldn't wholly rule it out for Sproul either. The strike rate had overtaken Hawley's handsomely at one point, but Hawley's got it back now. Here's Grant, who was bravely spraying you from... She was bravely spraying you from the boundary rope a moment ago. What have you got for us? She said she's going to listen back.
Have to see how this over goes, but...
That's wise. So Grant it'll be from the pavilion ends. Three from 3 would be quite the start for Middlesex, wouldn't it? There's still obviously a whole innings to go in this game and 3 overs of this innings, but it's a strong position that Middlesex have fought back into.
Yeah, we've got a lot of wickets left, so I think if these guys can just push on, then I think we're going to have a good chance.
On the spot to begin, nicely timed from Sproul. Came onto the bat nicely, and that's going to be the difficulty for Grant and for Kent at this stage. These two are seeing it big. Leg side, I think. Oh no, given! Sproul starts running and keeps running. Back to the pavilion. Umpire took a moment, which I like. Umpire just thinks about it. Was it hitting on that back leg was the thing. Wasn't sure whether it deflected off the front pad. Let's have a look. Ball angling. Quite full though, wasn't it? Yeah, that's a really good call. It was hitting the back leg. Pretty plumb. Back goes Sproul. 35 to her name from 27, and Middlesex 117 for 5. Oh! Oh!
That's... Yeah.
looks like one might have been missed there, but difficult in the speed of the moment for obviously things to be noticed. So Irving, the new batter, partnership broken at last. Georgia Irvine now with a job to do. Probably the first job is find the single and give the strike back to Hawley. She does first ball. Team for 5. The key thing now is Hawley. One, she's got a 50 in mind, but of course she'll be thinking the team first, being there at the end. That's dragged. Has it bisected the field? It might have done, and it has. The 50 up for Hawley. 51 from 38. It's a brilliant knock. It's a knock that really has changed this innings quite dramatically. 48 minutes. It's a 6th 4. Where can this 50 take the total now?
Yeah, I think 140, even above. I think that's a score for us.
Second week in a row, skipper's knock as well from Hawley. I'll come back to that in a moment. Oh, a little bit of bounce on that again from Grant. But yeah, 2 weeks in a row now from the skipper.
Yeah, I think set the game up really well as a captain, just leading from the front, which is always good.
Two, but thinking the single and keeping the strike, I guess. Hawley 52 from 40. 6 off the over from Grant, but the wicket as well. 1, 2, 3 for 5. 12 balls left. Crucially, the skipper has strike. Yeah, leading from the front at the moment with the bat.
Yeah, I think even sometimes with the ball, she's put on a really good display across the games, batting and bowling.
So Gordon's back. 2 for 18 from 3. Just checking the field. Let's go through it. Long off and long on back. Covers up deep mid wicket and deep square back. It's put into the gap. Can they turn for the second? They'll look for it. Back they come. Oh, it's a beaut, and it gets through. Field up on the offside. I did wonder whether that was a risk. No sweeper back on the cover side. Well, 140's on this over, isn't it? Around the wicket. It just means there's no margin for error whatsoever in going across with no sweeper back. That's another one. Couple of bounces. 4 more. Hawley's into the 60s.
Okay, I now think 150.
Loving the optimism. Middlesex would have to feel that that's near match winning. To go to 150, at one point you were thinking 100 on the board would give them something to bowl at, but Hawley has made it a completely different game. Just a single on this occasion. They're thinking about the second. 11 off the over so far, 2 to go. Couple of free hits here, really free. She's got the right to swing big at both these deliveries, I reckon.
Yeah, I think she's got it. I think only 5 wickets down.
Oh, Yorks herself with that swing. You could work out the thinking there, the step across. That being said, cover is up. Long off back. Use of the feet and a swing for a single down to long off. Will they look for the second here? It means yes, back they come. Oh, now that would have been tight. That would have been really tight. The second means Hawley keeps strike for the final over. 19 bowled, 136 for 5.
That's really good running from us. I think having that in 10 is something that we spoke about from the beginning. So
bit of fatigue setting in for Hawley. It's taken a moment's pause before this final over. It's been a powerful innings. 63 from 44.
yeah.
Up in the air. Straight to cover. End of the innings for Hawley. She's gone for 63. A fabulous, fabulous innings. Middlesex will hope a match winning, but 63 from 45 in the end, just trying to go over the top, couldn't quite clear that infield. Hugely important innings from the skipper, and a brilliant one for her side. 136 for 6. We'll be able to quantify it more at the end of the match, but right now it feels like that innings was massive.
Yeah, I think that really set the tone up. That's a true captain's knock, I think.
Word as well for the new batter. What do you reckon that was? So Wolford is. And we'll have strike. Oh, what a ball first up that is. One of the deliveries of the day. Swung in the air again, straight up and held. 2 at the start of the over, away on the board for Grant. Wolf has to go, swinging hard, looking to go inside out, and the offside in the end wasn't quite to the pitch for it. Just slices it up in the air. 136 for 7. Wicket dot wicket to begin the final over. And well, actually at this stage it was Kent that needed this.
Yeah, I think Kent probably feel like they're back in the game, but I think it might be a bit too late.
Let's a look at it. Comfortable catch in the end. Wolf looking to go back over long on mid-wicket region with the first ball, or the second ball indeed. The first one was the Jaffa, which might as well have played into her mind. She thought it was worth going big rather than letting Grant bowl at her. Backing up again from the chat on the boundary rope at the moment though, Grant.
I mean, yeah, she bowled well this over, so I can't really say much.
A little bit of width for Sonali Patel, first ball. Just worked into the onside, it's into the gaps. They're thinking about the second and back they'll come. Good running. Really good running. Long on, deep mid-wicket. It was even mid-off in the end, converging the 3.
Yeah, that's good running from them.
Now they'll think 2 again. It's dragged a little. Just taking the pace off slightly. Back they come. A little slow for the second. Throws to the keeper's end. They're back. Really good running. Oh, it's given. Well, it was a tight one, but it'll go down as a run then to finish. So it'll be 140 for 8 off the 20 overs. And final thought, well, from one point, that was certainly a finale that Middlesex would have taken.
Yeah, it's really good end. I think the intent after the power play probably wasn't our strongest, but I think we came back from that really well. Sass has not really helped the team.
Vidoria, thanks very much. We're going to take a break here on the live stream. You can see, goodness me, it was tight. Yeah, probably was just home. And, well, scoreboard says 140 for 8. And that is the end of the 20 overs. Thanks again to Reva and Sonny Twig as well. We'll be back after the break here. Myself, Kevin Hunt, and 141, the target to win for Kent. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Radlett. Chase about to get underway in this women's Tier 2 match between Middlesex and Kent. 141 the target for the visitors, who won the toss. Middlesex posting 140 for 8, a captain's knock by Saskia Hawley. 2 50s in a day for Middlesex captains. Stephen Eskenazi has a 50 for Middlesex in the chase at Chelmsford. The chase here, though, at Radlett is what we're focusing on in the women's game, as Middlesex women look to go 3 from 3. It's going to be Gaia Gole, who came in at 3 today to open the bowling from the Salters Field end. I'm alongside me. I'm Kevin Hand. Alongside
You're
me
alongside you.
Someone's alongside me. It's a pleasure to work with me.
You can do it all by yourself if you want to.
I'll introduce Sonia Twig after this delivery. All those words make sense, they just weren't in the right order. Oh, swing first up for Gole. Into the covers it goes.
She just hit that slightly uppishly. I'm not sure she got the contact she wanted on that, and that's what we saw from Middlesex early on, just pushing at the ball, and far too often at the start of the innings at least, it's straight into the hands of the Kent fielders.
A whiff on that, and there was no swing there. Instead, that slapped away. Lovely shot. Through the covers it goes. First runs. And a boundary as well for Kent.
Yes, problematically for Middlesex is when they were batting at the start, it was overcast and gusty, and now it's blue skies and the wind seems to have died down somewhat, which will make it a little bit easier for the Kent batters compared to what Middlesex were contemplating at the start of their innings.
Oh, that slips out. Down the leg side it goes. Just holds that left boot there and looks back at the crease.
She didn't look entirely comfortable in her delivery stride there. I just wonder if the ground's a little bit softer and if there's anything that she just took a second look at.
She immediately grabbed for that left boot. Certainly the hint of swing for Gole first up there. They got there in the end between the pair of them, but nothing to really.
Well, she's a little bit quicker than the Kent openers, so I wonder if she's just almost, because she's pushing it through that bit quicker, it's not having the time to swing that they were getting.
No ball called. Oh, and a misfield. Away for the boundary. Costly errors all round there for Middlesex, and that makes this a very good start from Kent, and a free hit coming up as well.
Oh, it nearly hit the dog. But no, yeah, it was a little bit costly, and we did see a bit of swing on that one, but the misfield just really adding to this, what's becoming quite a costly over for Gole at the start of this innings.
3 balls to go of it, and this is a free hit. Oh, scoops it onto the stumps. Imaginative from Gordon. Brings nothing and brings a little bit of relief for Gaia Gole.
A little bit too imaginative, I think. I mean, it's obviously worth trying on a free hit when you know that if you do miss it and it goes onto the stumps, it doesn't matter, but I'm not sure she's bowled one that was there to be scooped. She hasn't been sort of putting it a little bit short or anything. I think it was just trying their luck from the batter there.
That swings down the leg side. ball led off by the umpire, suggesting that Gordon has stepped across. I think the batter's feeling was that the bat hit the pad, but the umpire feeling that it was ball on pad. Single to get the over to an end. She gets out of it. Just the 11 in the end. Goalie off the first over. Gordon will keep the strike.
A little bit of a contrast already to the start of the Kent innings when they took a wicket in the first over as Middlesex collapsed a little bit at the start to 23 for 3 before recovering to post 140.
So talent will be from the pavilion end to open up. You'd wonder how Middlesex would go about it in the power play. A little bit of shape in and put down. Straight to cover. She had to get forward and try and get underneath it though. Wolf it was. Let's have a look. Yeah, it was there. Both hands. That would have been a wide. It is a boundary though. Gordon's into double figures. Kent are rattling along.
Yeah, she's just hit that so cleanly, powered it through the covers that she said if left it would have been a wide, but she's clearly gone for it anyway and pushed that down the hill to the boundary rope.
That's a lovely shot, back foot on a good stop. It's going to open up the chance for the second.
She's got a lot of variations, does Sonali Patel. She likes to roll her wrists on it and take the pace off it when the batters aren't quite expecting it, and I think she just bowled that slightly cutter inwards that they then pushed up back past the bowler, but she has a lot of success with those variations.
It's going to be a wide. Sure, at good pace. Field set with the deep mid wicket, so she does have protection on the onside, Patel. Deep third being the other fielder back. Thick inside edge on that. Big in swing though for Patel.
Yeah, she's getting a lot more movement than we saw from goalie at the other end. I wonder if she's just angling it inwards, and that one swung in a long way. And Sturge is just struggling a little bit here to get off the mark in the way that her teammate Gordon didn't look troubled at all.
So pace off that one slightly, but Sturge rocking back and taking the single. Can she get out the over? 11 off the first, 7 off this for Patel. Now, a lot of swing. Doing too much, in the umpire's opinion. We'll have another look, but Was it doing too much through the air?
It looked like it was doing a lot, and I think and as we say, you've got to give the batters the benefit of the doubt, and that was moving a long way in towards her, and you could see at least 2 of the stumps there. So it's great bowling from Patel, who's clearly causing the batters problems, and still not had the breakthrough yet.
I reckon if they had the chance to go upstairs, it would have been umpire's call. Might have just clipped, but good call by the on-field umpire, it suggests.
I don't think we're going to be getting umpires call and the full reviews here at Radlett anytime soon, unfortunately.
Although these umpire cams that they have now, apparently the technology on there, the biggest problem with that technology is the time that it takes to get it to potentially a third umpire, which they do have at all games now. Make up for a couple. Umpire's cam hasn't come in to tier 2 just yet, but even for top level cricket domestically in this country, those umpires cams, they're very good, and apparently the technology, the Hawkeye on there, is well respected, but it's just the timing at the moment to get the replay from that umpire cam up to a third umpire. Oh, that was in the air for a moment. It was cut hard though. Sharp chance to backward point, if you could call it a chance at all.
I think it was a chance, but a difficult one. I think that's what it has to go down as. But Middlesex should be encouraged that they've had at least 2 opportunities so far to break this opening partnership.
Straight to backward point on this occasion, but all along the floor. Oh, a little late cut. Was the attempt on that again.
I think it's the bounce that Radlett is getting that's just causing all the problems for these batters, and she sort of skids it through and it's still keeping quite hard.
Top of that to end the over, just 4 off the first over from Radlett. Good start from her. 22 without loss though marks a good start for Kent, and Middlesex will really want a wicket here to slow the power play.
It's what we saw in the first innings as well, wasn't it? As soon as the pace came off the ball, the bowlers were being rewarded a lot more than when they stuck with their seamers. So I wonder if Middlesex will adopt the same tactic, take the pace off and force the batters to start chasing and looking for openings that might not quite be there, although at this end they will stick with Sonali Patel.
Shape on that again. The pavilion end for Patel. Just let a few slip out in the last over, but that's a good start. There you go, look at that go. Really went late. Hit him with the swing. That's a beautiful pick-up. Sweetly struck.
Lovely hit there. She's timed it perfectly, got her feet right, opened up to access the leg side, and then just carved it over the top through mid-wicket and struck that very cleanly up the hill.
Pierces the field on the offside now. Between cover and extra cover, that's 4 more. It's becoming a bit of a problem for Middlesex now, this start.
Well, I think it's mostly Gordon who's been opening up and seems to have settled in remarkably quickly to this, and I wonder how costly that drop early on will be, or could prove to be, as far as Middlesex are concerned.
It's been a determined approach. The Kent opener. It's going to be a wide again. Need a wicket here, Middlesex. These last couple of overs of the power play could be costly. Now, up in the air but safe. Through the infield it goes.
That has flown straight through the hands. I think she's absolutely middled that over cover. Big leap from the fielder, but couldn't get enough on it. And Middlesex have made the decision to move someone out to that cover boundary. Although it does mean that fine has to come up into the ring.
Wolf it was. He was cleared. Pace off from Patel, it's better. Gordon left balancing on her bat.
Her change of pace can be quite deceptive. I think it can sometimes take the batter off guard because she bowls it so late and her run up and everything looks so similar to when she bowls the pace on that it can just catch you a little bit unawares.
Right there, the clear call to end the fourth. 5 without loss. Very, very good start here from Kent, and in particular Gordon. Be Sturge to have strike though.
I say that as someone who's got out to Sonali Patel in club cricket.
You were on 157 at the
Oh,
time.
I was not. They were far better than us on the day. But yes, as they were rattling through our batting order, I was asked to come out and bat, and didn't last too long. But they're a good side, obviously, full of Middlesex players.
Is that what you went back in and said it's the change up in pace?
Well, it means that I know there is a change up in pace, because I think, and I know that it can be difficult to pick up for batters, although obviously these batters are far more experienced than I am.
What game was it?
It was a club match between Harrow St Mary's and North London. North London, who made the headlines recently for bowling Barnes all out for 2. Was it Richmond? One of the teams got bowled out for 2.
Richmond, yeah,
Richmond
yeah.
were bowled out for 2
I was just trying to think, did it happen twice?
by North London's.
Oh, now that shapes away from Turner. Good start from Lauren Turner.
Oh, just lovely shape on that. She sort of angles it in and the swing just takes it away. It's going to be a difficult challenge for these Kent batters.
And again, that shapes away. Inside out from Sturge. Swept up at cover.
I don't think Middlesex will mind that too much. She didn't quite get hold of it, and it skewed up into the air and could easily have fallen to a fielder, and I think that's what they've got to do, is just keep this sort of angle and tight and not giving the Kent players any width, which they've seemed to thrive on so far.
Oh, that has wobbled back in and beats the inside edge. Gordon's gone for 26. 18 balls, but Turner makes a breakthrough in her first over.
And that's the wicket I think Middlesex really would have wanted. Gordon's looks so dangerous for her 26 off 18. And if we watch this, just see how that jags back in, and Gordon just can't quite do anything other than watch it thud into her pads as the finger goes up, and that's a big breakthrough for Middlesex.
She rubs that back leg, trying to suggest it's too high, but as we can see there on the replay, the bend in the back leg just takes that thigh that little bit lower. I don't think for a moment that height was going to be a problem with that one. The only decision was that in swing, was it doing too much again, but I think that was pretty clearly going to crash into the top of leg. Big wicket. Good decision from the umpire. Turner and Middlesex now in the game. 36 for 1. A ripple of applause rings around the ground for Amy Gordon. But it's Tilly Callaghan who comes out to join Sturge in the middle. Full bunger first up. That's going to be a no ball as well. Waist high. Full toss. Just look for the confirmation from the umpire. Yep. Another free hit.
Just slightly wayward there from Turner after making such an important breakthrough, and it's really important that Middlesex keep that pressure on now and try and squeeze Kent and not allow them to get too many runs.
Free hit, up in the air. No matter whether it's taken or not, to some extent let it bounce and don't break a finger.
I think she moved as if she was going to take it and then remembered that it was a free hit and just watched it bounce in front of her. I think that was Sonali Patel there.
Can we see the waistline? Yes, no, the chat in the middle, good over this for Middlesex, they needed it. No ball and the free hits. Too costly, just in total 2. Wow, that swung. Thought it was going to be alright at first, but a little bit of late swing and away it went.
Well, I'm not sure it would have been alright at the start. I think it drifted well wide quite early.
Yeah, a bit of a drag down. Ooh, that one really does get dragged down. Let's get out of the over now. It's been a good over. 6 off it. Got away with the no ball. Got away with it being a free hit. There's the dot ball to finish. 6 off the first over from Turner. Crucially, a wicket. And a big one as well. You can see what a start it's given them without the wickets. Kent. The dismissal. It's just given Middlesex the chance here to slow it up, drag things back.
But as we can see from the worm, how important partnerships are, and a couple of wickets just stems the flow of runs, and if Middlesex can get a couple more and prevent Kent from making those partnerships, it could turn the game around. As Hawley just tinkers with her field before coming on to bowl from the pavilion end.
Nice start. Good bit of air time, hang time, just floats it up.
Well, we saw spin cause the Middlesex batters a lot of problems. I wonder if taking the pace off is going to have the same impact on Kent.
Oh, now she's gone. Stumped. Sturge gives Hawley the charge. Just outside the off stump, floated it up again, much as the first ball.
I wonder, did she see her coming? She came very early and it just was a little bit wide outside the off stump, and good work from the wicketkeeper to take it high over her shoulder and come back. That's a difficult take, and she moved so comfortably there.
I said it for the finger spinners all day, the bounce has been crucial. Sturge departs for 7. Brilliant, brilliant piece of keeping from Sproul. 41 for 2.
Been a good recovery from Middlesex after Gordon put on those early runs for Kent. They've had 2 quick wickets now, and Hawley again just tinkering with the field for the new batter. There is a fielder out on the deep square leg boundary. And another, just having a look around to see where the other one is.
Yes, no. Amazing what a wicket or two does.
Just a bit tentative there from Ken. He sort of thought about it. And when you're in two minds, that's when run-outs can happen.
It's through. Lovely shot. And a boundary to begin.
Yes, three of them have given chase there, but none quite in the right position to cut it off as the ball just flows down the hill. Nicely pierced the gap.
Lovely bit of line and length bowling from Hawley again.
Well, we've mentioned the bounce before, and it's causing the Kent batters all sorts of problems here, particularly off Hawley.
And that's hit up in the air. Might just plug. Gives the chance to be pulled up mid-wicket running around. Tell it is at mid-wicket. End of the over, 6 done. 47 for 2. (27 for 3) Middlesex at the end of the power play. Those wickets really are crucial now. This is the point where Middlesex will try and tighten it up. That 4th wicket falling in the 8th over.
Yes, and it was after that they had their prolific partnership that just took them to that 140. Another change of bowling from Middlesex. They're not going to let these batters settle.
Bit of bounce there again. Cameron Party into the attack and just a bit of bite outside off stump.
That particular point, especially from that end, does seem to be getting a bit of bounce. We've seen it in both innings so far.
Top ball again, just backing up Callaghan, trying to access the onside. A little bit too short. Gets away with it though.
I think this pace is going to be really difficult for the Kent batters to try and find the gap. They've got so much time to think about it, but the length is good, and that just makes it all too difficult to manoeuvre around.
Nicely done. Stands up tall and sweeps it fine.
I think that's one of the things you can look to do when the pace is off, is just tuck it around the corner, and Middlesex have got to make sure their lines and lengths are good enough to stop Kent doing that.
Plunging forward, Callaghan to that one, not quite to the pitch of it. Got away with that one a little. Bit of flight outside off and nearly looped into the slot. Callaghan only picking up the fielder. Here's the 5th ball of the over where it just felt as though, yeah, just a bit of bounce on that one, nearly up towards the splice, but Callaghan doing well to check the shot. End of the over, 51 for 2.
I think Cameron Barty's got to be worried that she doesn't pull it too short, because if it does, especially with this bounce, it might just sit up a little bit too much for these Kent batters. But so far she's been putting a lot of flight on it, and that's always a little bit concerning for batters when they see the ball in the air and aren't quite sure what's going to happen where it lands.
Middlesex men on the board. They've wrapped up a 6-wicket win at Chelmsford. Their first win, their 4th game, a draw against Kent. In their 3rd game, Middlesex looking to go 3 from 3 here. They need a couple more wickets though to tighten up this chase. It's a bold start. First ball from Radlett.
It was actually probably the right shot to play. I think it was the only part of the ground that would have been accessible to her from there. She shadow bats the same one, although in her shadow she got a lot lower than she did to the initial one.
Really dragged that one down. Radlett. She gets away with it with a single out to Patel at deep square.
Routledge is a little bit quicker than the Kent spinners that we saw earlier. She really sort of puts it into the surface, and as it's bouncy, it's just going to be causing a little bit more problems as you almost feel a bit rushed as it jumps up to you as a batter.
Waited on that one. Oh, that's a brilliant piece of work. I was going to say the wait was worth it. They've run 3.
It's always so frustrating that as a fielder where you chase something down, stuff it on the line, and then realise you've done all that for the sake of 1 run. So you huff back and puff back to your position.
I'd be crawling back, to be honest. Especially after that spicy chicken for lunch. That's short. Again, gets away with it.
I thought it was the cricket match earlier that had you in pain.
Yeah, there's definitely an adductor issue there. See if the Middlesex physio's busy after the game. On that again, wasn't there? Let's take a little bit of bat, a little bit of glove. Not sure if it would come off the hip, but do they not take the run?
No. Just content to. I think it went straight to a fielder, so I think they decided not to.
.57 for 2 then after 8. Required rate just taps up to 7. So Callaghan to have strike. Single scampered through to begin the new over. Up in the air that goes. It's going to clear mid off though. Skips away down the hill. It's good sweeping up from long on. 58. 60 for 2. And checking the field once again. It's a pivotal point this. Kent won't want to lose the momentum that they've built up. That's a nice pick up again, but it's straight to the fielder and straight down the throat. Party has the wicket. The third one goes. Middlesex needed that. Apologies. Reading the screen again. It's Hawley who picks up the wicket. Straight down the throat. Good catch. Irving with the catch, and Middlesex with a much needed breakthrough here just to keep the wickets coming after a positive start for Kent. It was a positive start as well for Barnfather, but gone for 12 from 11. Street's the new batter for Kent. Coming in to join Callaghan. Streets to have strike. 2 to come of the over from Hawley. Get that fixed at the bottom of the screen. Her second over. 1 for 9 from 1.4 now for Hawley. Single turn, 1 to come. Wide rate creeps up above 7, the current drops down below. Those wickets have just really swung that now for Middlesex. End of the over, 9 done, 61 for 3. Crucial breakthrough here for Middlesex. Delighted to say Lucy Porter's alongside me. Lucy, that was a big wicket, and the 3 in fact that they've taken in the last few overs. Crucial timing for Middlesex here.
Hi. I didn't know there was a camera.
Producer Dan just throwing you under the bus there. You can give the camera a wave. Who's watching at home?
My mum and dad will definitely be watching.
Hello,
Sally
Mum
and
and
George. And Bisto,
Hello, Sally
maybe.
and George. And who?
Bisto the dog.
Ah.
You know, like with Benji, you just don't.
Who's going to be the most excited though, Bisto or?
He's always excited. He doesn't shut up.
Right, Wolf into the attack from the pavilion end. Streets to have strike.
Well, I'm actually being serious. What do you think it is? You think it is or it is? It what? I've lost this
Up in the air. It's going to go safe though. Deep square goes around to long leg, and they'll think 2, but they were slow on it. It's just a single. Gets away with it though. First ball from Wolf, and there you go, a bit of bounce in it. So it seemed a little as well, that ball, but not as short this one, a single taken. Yeah, overall, Middlesex going to be pretty happy at this stage, but again, those last 3 wickets pretty crucial.
Yeah, they really are. And spinners work well on this as well. So we're going to hope to get as many overs out of our spinners as we possibly can.
Stabbed nicely. Bisecting those fielders, and it is such a quick outfield here. Down the hill it goes, 4 more. Partnership was key though in the Middlesex innings, wasn't it? Hawley and Sproul, that's what Kent will be looking for here, but it was quite the partnership.
Yeah, it was so good to watch. I hope they could hear me from the sideline screaming. No, they did so well, and Saskia, proper like captain's knock. So good.
That was you, was it, the screamer?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh wow, that is some ball. Real shape, beating the outside edge. Swung late there, and yeah.
Oh, I think she's hit it.
The edge pops out of the gloves.
I did warm-ups with Pippa as well, so she'll blame that on me.
Dot ball. Pretty much swung that off the top of middle and off. It was a fraction short, but onto it early streets. 68 for 3. You can have a look at that edge. It was just the late swing that did for the batter, but also potentially doing for the keeper as well.
Oh.
Beautiful ball.
That was really well bowled. I would have got out to that.
I think most of us would have got out to that, to be fair.
Fletch definitely would have watching his batting earlier.
Yeah, we wrapped up our little game of quick cricket on the sideline pretty quickly earlier. I was disappointed with us.
Yeah, they're good.
I was getting in for the day. Couldn't get me out, so they called it off.
Boring.
So far wide, we were going to have to run to get it, so I tapped it back like this, and they took a one-handed catch and gave me out. I was tapping it back to you. Single more for Streets.
I really like her field here because it's making the batters do something they don't want to do. They don't want to hit over mid-off. So I reckon caught mid-off.
Oh, swept. One bounce out to deep mid-wicket. Deep square and deep mid-wicket back. Yeah, that field they've got.
It's good. They've got deep cover, deep square, kind of cow. Is long on? Can't see that far.
Yeah, long on. It's in the other end. It's a mound here, so we can see from the knees up. Get over this tight one. Just 6 off her first 10 deliveries. take. And what was the reckoning in the Middlesex innings? Well, the start of the partnership in particular, Hawley and Sproul, at that point Middlesex 41 for 4 after 8. I mean, 140 for 8 was probably dreamland at that point. Oh, backing up. Nicely done. Just tickles it around the corner and
Let it go a little bit.
I think 2, but they'll settle on 1. End of the over. 72 for 3 at the end of the 11th here, but yeah, 41 for 4 after 8. At that point, another couple of wickets, and you're really just thinking, make sure you get 3 figures on the board.
Yeah, it was a really good total from Pippa and Sass to put up, and it's put us in a really good position. I think a few more overs like this, we'll be hopefully cruising. I was like, this is a big game. Big game.
I did ask earlier whether Middlesex would have batted first, and the answer was confidently given back to me, yes, and this is probably why.
I have no idea. My contribution today is bringing sweets, and that was about it. I don't know what Sass would have done.
Oh, sorry, where are they?
They're over there. I'll go get them.
What sweets are the next question?
One of them's disgusting, so I won't. It's like Haribo's Nostalgia or something. They were horrible, so I'll give them to brew me after the game. And then some Skittles, Squashies, and Sour Patch Kids. So pretty standard.
Cut hard. Cut fine of the fields. Boundary to start the over, puts the pressure onto the bowler. Wasn't that wide, but it's a little bit of width, a little too short.
Yeah, I think fuller works on this pitch. Short is just, it's going to run away down the hill.
It's better. Fuller as well. We have seen a lot of late swing today here at Radlett, and obviously given a chance to. We've seen a little bit of seam movement as well, but it's probably been the swing that's been more prevalent.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with these bowlers like Katie. If there's swing, she'll find it. Bold. That was really nice. That was a really good length.
Just struggled a little bit to begin Patel today, but started to turn it around. And again, the full first ball of this over, it's a good follow-up the next couple of deliveries. Oh, now. Thought that was going to come back. Again, it's that in-swing. Thought for a moment it was going to carry back. Any chance the batter's had today to get back? It's trust in this pitch, isn't it? The bounce is true, and if anything, there's that a little bit of additional bounce that allows the batter to rock back so quickly.
Yeah, they know exactly where it's going to go, and they can trust the bounce. It's not going to just go by your ankles like on some of the pitches we've played on.
Mentioning no names. Oh, wide Yorker. Callahan, I think, misjudged that one. Well, she did misjudge it. Thought it was going to be a wide. Ended the 12th, 77 for 3. 64 from 48. It's manageable for Kent. They've got wickets in hand, but much as we saw in the Middlesex innings, it's all about partnerships.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've got some big wickets as well. Back in the dugout with Amy Gordon and Megan Sturge. I think we really needed to get them out early. So it's good that they're back, sat down.
So fine. Coming back for the second.
Bold. Do you know what? I really want Ratch to get a wicket because she goes so big. It's so funny. She genuinely might do a lap of this whole pitch.
I was about to say, you can see a fair bit, not well, now she's on camera, it's not on this occasion, but she's got quite a lot of intensity in her face before the deliveries often.
Yeah, she's so annoying to bat against. Shot 4 runs. She's so annoying to bat against. Like if she even like hits your pads, she'll just scream in your face.
Even in the nets?
Especially in the nets.
That was sweetly struck. I say to the fielder, it's another job. Got to find the ball again here at Radlett.
Hope she doesn't have hay fever.
Well, they had to get a twig out last time and get it through the fence to fetch it back. Yeah, it's not a great ground for hay fever sufferers here at Radlett. Surrounded by Manhattan-like trees all the way around us, steepling up over the grounds. The delay is happy now. Yes, no again.
Nice.
Or even that company that I don't think.
No.
Another company.
Oh, now.
Go give it.
Be interesting to see if this is giving us runs, because I reckon that was tight. Yeah,
Yeah, she has.
little inside tickle on that.
Oh yeah.
Just saved up.
Oh. Nice.
End of the over. Director Lucy Porter has decided we're not going back to comms camp before the end of the over, which is a huge disappointment. So what was the dog's name again? Bisto.
Bisto.
I'll just say goodbye to Bisto on the air instead. then.
Bisto.
Lucy, thanks for your time. Much appreciated, Lucy Porter. Appreciate it, Lucy. Thank you. Is that when you came on comms camp? Snapped it. 13 overs, 84 for 3. Welcome back, Sonia, too.
Thank you.
Are we allowed to, you're going to allow us back on comms cam. Lucy vetoed
I can
it.
be on comms cam. I mean, it is odd seeing yourself on screen, but I'll be on comms cam. Just wish I washed my hair this morning.
Four for 3, 13 done. Turner continues. Length ball, but a bit of width. Just got to be careful of that.
At some point in this, Kent are going to have to go big, aren't they? They're going to have to sort of start trying to find the boundaries, because the run rate's just creeping up a little bit, and they can't let it get too far out of hand.
Trying to think, there was that over where Hawley hit 3 boundaries on the bounce, and all of a sudden the innings, the complexion had changed. And when you're chasing though, it's not that easy, because you're thinking about it, you're trying to think, where are these runs going to come from?
But you also can't fall too far behind the run rate.
Good start here from Turner. It's just in the channel. Again, got to be careful not to be too wide and offer up the opportunity to throw your hands at the ball, but back-to-back top balls. This is just building the pressure. Turner into a second over, and she's keeping it so tight here.
She's really not giving them anything, nor is she really putting the pace on it to try and rush them into anything. She's just putting it on a length, and it's so difficult to deal with as a batter when it's just in that awkward position where you are in two minds about what to do and usually end up just defending it straight back to the bowler.
There's the choice, step across, try and access the onside, pushes it straight to mid-on, the throw misses. Would have been tight. Good over from Turner, just the 3 off it. 14 done, and it's 87 for 3 now.
Yeah, it could go right down to the wire, this, as we look at the worm, and Kent have slowed down, but they're still kind of on pace with Middlesex's innings. Middlesex were 84 for 4, so still very, very close at this stage of the game.
Oh, wicket now. We really are at that stage. It's either a wicket or a partnership will turn this game from this position. Up in the air. On bounce.
They've seen penalties. That was like, shit. There's literally so much blood everywhere.
Up in the air. Gone. Backward point holding on. Cameron Party has the breakthrough that Middlesex would have really wanted at this stage. Really is going to push the pressure onto the visitors.
That's just looped up and straight to her, hasn't it? She didn't sort of skewed off the top edge there. It's not what you want as a batter, but great for Middlesex.
We don't need comms, Cam. The sweets have silenced us all. Lucy Paulson's delivered. Good Haribos.
Delivering the sweets after her teammates just delivered the goods for.
There you go, to celebrate the wicket. There you go, the sweets have arrived. Where are they? We're busted munching away.
Very happy in this commentary box right now. I think that's made your day, Kevin.
I think I went for the chewier variety. Just about got through them now.
Oh, that's a rookie mistake, that one.
Belt it is.
I think a curly whirly would be the worst choice to have in the commentary box. I'm not sure you'll be able to speak for an entire over.
I think the listeners are sending their orders of curly whirlies to the commentary box now. Shut him up. Give him some of these. It's the opposite of the TMS box being delivered cake, isn't it?
Well, they get cake and we get budget chocolates.
Oh, it's worked nicely. Just the single. Another good over this for Middlesex. Look at that change now. 88 for 4. 53 from 32. So much of this chase now rests on Callaghan. pops up for the outside edge, but safely though. End of the over, they do have the wicket. Kamapasi.
She's bowled nicely for her 4 overs, and nice to see her rewarded with a wicket in the final one as well. She's been so difficult for the Kent batters to get away with the sort of lack of pace and accuracy that she has. As we look at the run rate, Kent started with a blistering start, mostly spearheaded by Gordon, and it's just been a steady decline since, but they're still up with the game at this stage.
Drifts that one past the edge. Down the track.
Yeah, hit that hard, but Kent weren't able to capitalise and pierce the gap, and they ended up not even getting a run for it as the batters decided not to. A little half appeal there from Middlesex as the Kent batter Poole is struck on the thigh, but it was outside the line and nothing doing there.
It's another good over. It's the single to finish it. 3 off it. Kent need boundaries here. Where are they going to find it from? They need that over like the one that Saskia Hawley had with those 3 consecutive boundaries.
I think what's going to be difficult for Middlesex now is to know where do they go, because they're sort of running out of those spin options and the slower seam options, and as we saw at the start of the innings, both Gaia Gole and Sonali Patel were a little bit expensive when they had the pace on.
That's a sweet pickup. Going to be a tough chase, and it's too much for Wolf out there.
Yeah, she's just picked that up so sweetly outside and played it right, gone outside, picked the ball up from outside the off stump and played it through the gap at mid wicket and just beat the fielder there, who didn't quite time her dive quite right to cut that one off.
Nice bit of flight on that again. Pick up the single.
Well, as we saw from the Middlesex innings, that mid-wicket region, especially down that hill, can bring quite a few runs.
Again, sweet connection. As she found the gap, she has. 100 up for Kent. We talked about that one over that Kent need just to get them going, get it a bit closer.
And again, we've spoken about that mid-wicket region, and no one out there in that corner down by one of the many trees that line this ground, and just brought so many runs in this game. I think maybe slightly a little bit too short on the length, just giving the batters time to pick their spot.
Keep working it, sir. Keep working it.
Picks out the fielder. All he manages to get out of the over. 10 off it. 10 runs that keeps Kent in the chase here. 38 needed off the last 3. Need another big over from somewhere.
They do, and they need, I think, one of these batters, and probably Callaghan has got to stand up and really take it on and go for it. I think just meandering and ending up sort of 15 runs short is not going to be enough for them. They've really got to take this game by the scruff of the neck, and one of them's got to decide, I'm going to stay, and the other one's got to go and stay, and the other one has to just stay with her. I think it's that point in the game now where you can't hang around and you can't let these dot balls build.
Single taken.
I think that's probably what Kent will want. I think they'll be quite happy to get Callaghan on strike. I wonder if that was the conversation that the batters had just before this over started.
It's a nice shot. Down the grounds. Mid off and mid on up. Callaghan's into the 40s.
That was a lovely shot. She just timed that drive, came down the wicket and just pushed it far too fine of the fielders up in the ring, and raced away to the boundary there.
Quite got hold of it. I might think about 2. How tight is it to field? Yes, back they come. They need to at this stage. Pressure on the fielder and they're back.
I think that was good decisive running there from Kent. I think they made it clear that they've got to take every chance they can get. They've got to start turning these ones into 2s, and Middlesex have therefore got to be really on it in the field and making sure that they can't take those runs too easily. That one was just a little bit too slow for the fielders.
In the air and gone. What a catch, what a screamer. Wolf holds on at mid-off. Callaghan falls. Boy oh boy, did Middlesex need that wicket. And is that the last chance for Kent gone?
Well, she dropped one early on and she had another one that flew over her head, but she did really well there, did Wolf, just to time her jump perfectly and hold on. She managed to get, it was just the one-handed catch in the end, and she clung on with the right hand to ensure that Callaghan's impressive innings comes to an end, and with it that has put a serious dent in Kent's chances of chasing down this 140.
Fine margins, a couple of inches more and that could have been 4. Callaghan verging on a 50 and Kent back in this, but it's a big wicket.
Could that be the turning point in the game as we look towards how many runs are needed and this sort of constant maths that we have to do in cricket to work out what's needed off almost every ball at this stage?
Isabel Kirby to the middle to join Grace Poole.
She bowled quite nicely, did Kirby, but what can she do here with the bat? It's a difficult situation to come out into. You really can't take any time to settle yourself at all.
it's onto the pads. It's away fine. Boost that Kent needed to get them into these final couple of overs after the wicket.
Yeah, just dragged a little bit too leg side and full, and as a new batter, that's just what you want. You just have to open the face on that and guide it down towards the vacant third position.
Just gloomed over a bit here. The Duckworth-Lewis very much in Middlesex's favour at the moment, but I'm sure we're close enough to the end to see this through, but some heavier rain clouds have just rolled in. Ooh. Wobbled late on Kirby. She gets the single though, which keeps the strike. 26 from 12. It should be Middlesex's game, but Kirby's going to surely go at this hard from the start of the 19th.
I think who bowls this over is going to be key. If this one, as we've seen all too often, if this one goes for runs, then it can be really difficult to pull it back in the last one. But if this one's tight, it just leaves the batters with everything to do going into that final over. Either way, we've seen a very tight game here at Radlett.
Radlett it is, done for 13 from 3. The scoreboard's wrong on the ground, so just a pause. Two things here. One, the scoreboard's wrong, but two, you might get an idea of just how dark it's starting to get here. They're really starting to glow, those lights on the scoreboard on the far side.
And the wind's just picked up as well. We can feel it in our tent that we're in just to the left of the pavilion.
Swing and a miss. Question asked.
I'm not sure she moved there, but good to ask questions, and a big swing and a miss from the new batter Kirby.
Through for a pretty tight single. The decision was made not to release the throw. I reckon she might have been short the direct hit on that, but I don't need to lose wickets now. Look at that for Radlett, really tight. 4.2 the economy. Oh, she's gone. Fingertips onto the stump. Kirby goes. I think she's just double checking with the umpire that it was the flick from the fingers of Routledge. Can't lose another one. Middlesex near the third straight win.
Yes, that was a brilliant bit of fielding there from Izzy Routledge just to get down, and well, I'm not sure it's what she was necessarily trying to do when she got down to make the stop, but she just flicked the ball onto the stumps, leaving Kirby stranded at the non-strikers. That was a great bit of fielding from the Middlesex player who's bowled so well so far.
Good delight as well.
I think just looking at her reaction, she knew it as soon as it flicked off her hand. She looked to the umpire for confirmation of her celebration rather than in appeal.
It was almost the shock that it's so obviously out, but you have to wait for the umpire to give it out.
But it's one of those bits of cricket, isn't it, that if you do it, you're just so happy, because it's something that we don't see too often, especially in the women's game.
Sweetly timed, but it's straight to cover, just a single. There's a lovely shot of the pavilion in the background there. It's a cracking ground here for Middlesex. Fortress for the women as well as the men.
Radlett just being made to wait here.
In the air. Who's going to take it? Anyone? Oh, I think there was indecision at first. Radlett, it was swirling. Made a late decision to go for it.
I think she lost that in the air. I think she was looking up and couldn't quite pick it out of the clouds and ended up launching herself behind her.
Single to finish. Should be match winning. 119 for 6.
The scoreboard's just taking its time to update as well. But Kent needing 22 from the final over here. They started this run chase in emphatic fashion but haven't quite kept up with the run rate as the wickets have tumbled, and unlike Middlesex's impressive partnership, they haven't been able to put one together that's caused quite the same level of destruction in the second innings, having won the toss and chose to field.
Step across and a swing. She'd gone too early there. Ouch. Oh, in the ribs.
I wonder if we can just take a look at what happened there. It looked a bit painful for the wicketkeeper as Turner walks back to her mark.
Oh wow, mind your head umps. Fingertips to it as well.
Oh, she's got a big grin on her face, does Hawley, but that was almost a chance to pretty much put the game to bed. It was hit really hard back at her and she instinctively put her hands in front of her face but couldn't quite hold on.
3 from 3 for the skipper. And she'll have an even bigger smile now. No, she won't. Not out. Call on that one. Tight. Going in the batter's favour. Of course, net run rate's always a factor in these moments as well, isn't it? But pretty good victory, I think, for Middlesex this.
I just wonder if they're going to have to move an extra fielder out if we're are they in any danger of missing a cut-off, because this seems like we've had a couple of stoppages in this innings so far. There was a good bit of fielding there off her own bowling from Hawley. She bowled so tightly in this game and been rewarded with 2 wickets, just really keeping the runs down throughout this innings.
Oh, dot ball to finish. Hawley, 2 for 23 from her 4. Let's go with a fine knock with the bat as well. A skipper's performance again with the bat as it was last week at Merchant Taylor's School. Middlesex winning by 18 runs, 3 to start in the group stage. In the second tier for Middlesex women, it's been a stunning start really for them in these first 3 games. Lords, Merchant Taylor's School, and now at Radlett as well. Right, with the rain potentially about to arrive, we're going to wrap quickly here. The next live stream for the women is on June 22nd. Do join us if you can for that one. Thank you to Sonia Swig today for her company, and to everybody else that's joined. Myself, Kevin Hand, on the mic. Thanks for you as well for watching, but from us all here at Radlett, it's a Middlesex win by 18 runs, and it's a very good evening to you all.